Okay, so here's the game, boo. Today we're gonna be doing something a little bit different. Episode 6, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be talking about what you think makes a happy marriage. You're gonna get down. You're gonna write down your top 3 things that you believe makes a happy marriage.
Okay.
All right. I'll write my 3 things. We'll discuss. We'll see if there's any similarities, any differences, and we'll discuss on that. I'm interested to see if we write the same thing,
Mm-hmm.
and if we write different things, why it is you think that point makes a happy marriage, and I wonder too. Like we can say the same thing but say it differently too. So
Yeah.
let
Well, we can talk about it
yeah.
once it's written.
So you write your 3 things. I'll write my 3 things, and
Okay.
let's see what happens. These markers are like super annoying.
Because they're not for writing.
Huh?
They're not for writing. I don't like the way that sounds.
All right. So
So what do just show?
yeah, just show
All right, to each other.
having fun. So I got
That's funny. We both put communication as a second.
individuality for 1, communication for 2, 3 is selflessness, and I got a bonus on the back of good sex.
1 is having fun, having joy, or like having joy. 2, communication. 3, understanding.
Okay. So talk to me. Why
Well,
do you
that's so
think?
funny that we both put communication.
So do you think communication is like? So I said to list it from top to bottom, most to least important. Not that any of these are
you did?
less important. Oh, I didn't know.
I don't remember that.
Well, okay. So why do you think? Why did you put communication second, like me? I did it for a specific reason.
I didn't put it for any specific reason, but I just thought of having fun, joy as more. I don't know. That's the first thing that really came to my mind.
Having fun.
So yeah, having fun. Continuing to date, and I actually watched a video of this. I think they had been married for, I don't know, like a big number, maybe like 60 years, I want to say. And the whole video is like a 4-minute long video, and they were talking about, having a happy marriage. And the whole video, they're just like cracking up, laughing with each other. And that's how it should be,
Yeah.
even the stuff that she was saying, we have our ups and downs, but you have to choose to love, you have to choose joy. And she was talking about one time she was so mad, and she ended up going to sleep in the baby's crib and left the husband sleeping on the bed with the baby, and she slept on the crib. And they're just like cracking up and being like, it's so silly. But yeah, so I think having fun, not forgetting where you came from, right? When you're dating somebody, when you just meet somebody, you want to have fun.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, it's fine.
No, I was just gonna say I thought about that too. It was just like continuing to date the person,
Yeah.
not stopping the initial spark, because that spark for sure goes away. Like the initial spark of like let
I
me
was gonna
let
say,
me like I still got a spark for you. I'm just saying I'm just saying like the initial, like, the you're falling for the person and you're wanting to.
It's like the new, right? Newness of it.
Yeah. So like that can dissipate,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to find ways to reinvent it. You got to find ways to like continue to pour into your marriage and put effort into having fun. Having fun doesn't necessarily come naturally.
No.
Like you can easily go through the mundane of life and not have fun, not have joy, and like not get stuck in the rut of day-to-day life, work, kids, cleaning the house, dealing with yourself, entertaining,
Mm-hmm.
then the last person that you're gonna have any sort of effort for is your spouse. So having fun is definitely. I definitely thought about that.
Yeah, and the Bible talks about joy being the medicine, right? Which is in Proverbs 17:22. A joyful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones.
Yeah, and it's contagious too.
Right.
I put individuality for number one because, huh?
No, I was just gonna say. So, what do you mean?
Well, I think you just have to be individuals first because we talked about this.
So you're saying like don't forget who you like yourself, who you are.
Know who you are. Know, like be an independent person first.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I lose myself in you, or you lose yourself in me, if something happens to me, whether it's splitting, whether it's whatever, whether it's me dying, who are you then?
Mm.
So like if you're not yourself, if you're not an individual person who loves God, who knows, like you said last week, who you are and whose you are, then all of a sudden you come into a marriage, you lose yourself in that marriage.
Yeah,
Then you lose your identity.
absolutely. Like your joy should come from God. No person is gonna bring that joy. You may have moments of joy
Yeah.
with them.
Sustain joy.
Yeah. You're gonna have joy with people in your family, but your joy most importantly should come from God because He is constant and people aren't.
Yeah, and so I took it from Luke 10:27. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. And so that in itself, knowing who you are individually, allows you to come into a marriage to have a happy marriage because you know who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You already love God. God shows you who you are. He allows you to be who it is He's created you to be, and then two people come into the marriage that's equally yoked. So that all of a sudden there should be no reason for it to not be a marriage built on a foundational happiness from the get go.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
also,
why,
it doesn't allow you to be abused or mistreated.
right? Because you're not gonna have somebody manipulate you to be somebody that you're not. Like no, like we can mold and change ourselves to be better versions of ourselves for each other, but you're not gonna change me to to live a life outside apart from God.
Mm-hmm.
That's my foundation.
Mm-hmm.
That's important for for two individuals to come into a marriage. Then I put communication. You did too as number two. I did it because like I've seen what communication has done for our marriage. I taught you a lot how to. I taught you a lot how to communicate. How to like. I need you to communicate with me. I need you to express yourself this way with me. I need you to be open. Because if it's not be, because if you're not, then how can I know what it is you're feeling? Okay, I'm the one that needed to work on communication because I didn't always
Crying over here.
I didn't communicate. This podcast wouldn't have been a podcast back when we first got married for sure. It would have been a. You're actually crying.
Yeah.
It would have been a you talking and me listening
Yeah.
podcast. But so Colossians 4:6, let your conversations be gracious and attractive so you may have the right response for everyone. And
Sheesh.
kind words in Proverbs 16:24, kind words are like honey.
Right.
And so this allows you to come into a happy marriage so you can have conversations on family, on career goals, arguments, be able to navigate through them, money, the roles that each one of you have. Communication allows you to hash out, work out through all those different difficulties and also express yourself and having fun and joy.
Yeah, I mean, communication's important in every single part of your marriage. Honestly, maybe it's even a first, even though I put a second. Just because with communication comes you expressing your need for love or your need, but where to improve, right? And all those other things will follow because if you have good communication, you know you can have a safe space to communicate your needs with your spouse, and your
Yeah.
spouse can have a safe space to communicate with you. So communication is definitely a big one. And then your third is selflessness. That's a big one too.
Sure is, yeah. Yours is understanding. Why'd you put understanding?
I guess those kind of like can come together. Understanding, I mean like
Understanding what?
understanding being somebody who knows that you're not perfect and that your spouse is not perfect, so therefore you need to understand, try to be more understanding that sometimes things aren't just going to be easy and they may act out of character or say something you don't like, and then try to understand where they're coming from, instead of like get defensive right away.
Yeah.
It's not all about you, right? So comes with the selflessness. So you knowing that it's not all about you, then you can provide some grace to your partner and understanding and say, can we start over? Or like, I sense that this isn't who you are, or I sense that maybe what you just said was different in your head than when you said it out loud. So
Mm-hmm.
can we start over? Things like that are important. And again, it comes back with communication, right? It's just
So maybe communication is like
expressing.
one.
Yeah, I think so.
They're all like 1A, 1B, 1C.
Yeah. But yeah, having grace for yourself, having grace for your spouse, and being okay with saying, I'm sorry, that can I say that in a different way? Or, saying, do you want to think about that again?
Have you said that to me before?
I don't know. Have I?
No, I don't think so. If you said that, I'd be in shock. I'd be like, yes, probably. So I put selflessness just because it's the ingredient that is needed, sometimes most, that is nonverbal and can be, so it can be shown without talking, but it can be shown also without necessarily even the other person seeing you.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be something that's done in action and in thought. And that selflessness allows us to put the other one first and serve one another.
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, when we get married, we push ourselves aside and put the other person first, trying to make sure that you're good before I'm good, make sure that the kids are good before I'm good, making sure that your heart is taken care of before mine. But in turn, I'm also being taken care of with that selflessness, because the serving attitude of taking care of the ones I love is most important. And I think when you are selfless, that's seen and hopefully appreciated by the other person. And that just allows the marriage itself, again, like the whole conversation we're talking about today, what makes a happy marriage. If I'm selfless, if I'm communicating and I know who I am and what I bring to the table as an individual, I think those three things allow for a healthy, happy marriage.
Yeah.
You agree?
I agree.
Whose is better? Who won?
I mean, it's hard to pick because everything applies, We could obviously say more than three things.
I know. Well, that's why
I would say communication.
That's why I put a 3B.
Yeah.
You gotta have
Intimacy is important.
No, I didn't put intimacy. I
Well,
put that.
sex is definitely important as well.
Yep. I put that good. Well, all these in a happy marriage leads to this, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because your intimacy grows
Yeah.
and
And,
it's
and
gonna show up in
yeah, and one thing I think we're working on is the intimacy outside the room,
mm,
right? Because intimacy doesn't just have to be
no, intimacy is not sex. Intimacy is a lot more.
it's a bond with somebody,
Yeah. It's
which is a weird
touch.
way to think
It's
about it.
touch, right?
Yeah, because I've heard guys talk about this before, like in group who are older in years and like they're not as active.
Mm-hmm.
So they say like I get just as much out of holding hands with my wife or being with my wife or having a good conversation with her as I do sexually. And in my mind I'm like that doesn't to me it makes sense, but it doesn't at the same time. But I think it's also something that we're continuing to work on. I do feel the intimacy deep with you.
What?
That's a weird way to put it.
Well,
I do feel strong intimacy non-sexually when we have really good conversations.
mm-hmm.
I just feel that bond,
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I think that was good.
You just want to go to bed?
No, I just think that, I mean, like I said, there's a lot we can talk about, but I think I think we both had good points.
Individuality, having fun, enjoying each other, communication, understanding, and selflessness. Beautiful things to make a happy, healthy marriage. If you got something out of this, comment and share with us what it is that maybe has allowed you guys to have a healthy, happy marriage, or which ones out of the ones we spoke on you agree with or disagree with.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you in the next one, episode numero 7.
Bye.
Pieces. Have a beautiful time.
Belle farted.
I'm gonna put that in the video. I didn't smell
Because
it.
I was like this, and she literally farted
your
on my
hand?
hand.
Smell it.
And then I went like this, and it was just a whoop. And that's why I was laughing, because I didn't know if you smelled it. Smelt
No.
it. Smelled it. Smelt it. What's the word?
Smelt it. I would say smelt.
So I was cracking up. It just so happened.
Wait, so it wasn't.
No, I did laugh at that, but it just so happened to.
Hurts my feelings.
No, it just so happened to both be at the same time, and that's why I was.
Wash your hand though. You're gonna get pink eye.
Crying. Well,
Did you touch your hand?
I did.
Oh my gosh. If you wake up tomorrow with some pink eye, that's because you cupped Belle's fart and just tossed it on your eye.
I didn't think about it because I was literally tears in my whole face. I was like, I don't have anything.
Was it your left eye you touched?
Touch both.
Oh, Lord. Alright, well, we'll see you tomorrow morning.
You could be whatever you wanna be. So I told myself, I'ma be a singer, I'ma play on the keys. I can do whatever I want.